The place where you listen to get the whole truth. The place where you listen to get a fair view. The place where you listen to get the whole truth. The place where you listen to get a fair view. This is Great Talk. This is Great Talk. This is Great Talk.
Welcome. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Greg Talks. Yes. Welcome to Greg Talks. Hallelujah. Hey, listen, I'm going to run that by you one more time. Yes, we're getting ready. Yes, getting ready for an exciting show this evening. Yes, we are. We're getting ready for an exciting show this evening. I'm excited to be here on this Thursday evening. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna be talking tonight about voting. Do I still have the right to vote? Yes, so go ahead. Go ahead right now, invite somebody on. This is going to be good. I'm looking forward to the show this evening. Yes, I am. So let's go ahead and start inviting people in. Yes, I know my wife is out there, Pastor Rose. Good evening. Yeah, I know you already got a watch party going. Let's get some watch parties going. Yes, I'm getting my watch party going. I'm excited about this show this evening because there's so many people out there that need the information that is going to be shared on this show this evening. And I'm excited to have you joining. Yes, I'm excited to have you joining us this evening for this edition of Greg Talks. Yes, Greg Talks. It's going to be good. We're talking about our topic today is, do I still have the right to vote? And I got a special guest waiting in the wings to come on with us this evening. No, he's Pastor Sylvester Wilson. Yes, the lead pastor of New Beginning Ministries. He's going to come and join us right now. So come on, give up some praise right now. Come on, give God some praise right now for Pastor Sylvester Wilson as we welcome him to Greg Talks. Welcome.
What's up?
We are so excited to have you with us this evening, Pastor. How you doing?
I'm good, sir. How you doing?
Doing quite well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you, man. We got you. How we're sounding on your end?
Good deal.
Yeah, I can hear you.
It sounded clear. We got loud and clear.
Okay, good. I see you. I think your picture may be moving a little slow, but we can hear you real good. So we're good. We're good to go. Man, what's happening? How you doing?
Oh, we're doing good, Bishop, man. Thank you for the invite and thank you for having us on with you tonight, man. Super excited just to be here with you, sir.
You're okay, man. That's awesome. We're just so glad to have you because I know you have an awesome testimony and all to share with our guests tonight, our audience tonight, rather. And the thing is, and the reason we really wanted to do this show is because I have encountered so many people that don't understand and don't think they still have the right to vote. And there are many reasons. Sometimes people have been incarcerated and they feel like they have totally lost their right to vote. And then there are other times there are people who haven't voted in quite some time and they've been actually purged from the system. So we really want to talk about that tonight and kind of share that information with the public and also, let you share your testimony and share with people how they can turn this thing around, because we are moving into the voting season right now, and it's going to be a pivotal point for the United States of America, and it's going to be imperative that everybody that has the right to vote get out and vote, and those who think they don't have the right to vote may still have time to get registered to vote, and those who have never registered, we want them to go ahead and get registered to vote. So Pastor, I'm just going to kind of turn it over to you right now. You can tell us who you are and all that good stuff. And go ahead and kind of share with us your thoughts on this. And we're gonna also, we'll be taking questions from our audience as well. So when questions pop up, I'll let you know what they're asking.
All right, Bishop. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again, Bishop, for allowing us to be on this platform, man, to kind of share listening audience and people who may catch the replay of this video. Man, I can't tell you how humble I am just to be able to share what I know and my knowledge and my experience as it pertains to voting. Just to give you a little background of who I am, like Bishop said, the lead pastor here at New Beginning Christian Ministry right here in the South Roebuck area, and where God is just doing amazing things over here in Roebuck. But to get to the topic at hand, Bishop, back in 1993, I was convicted of a felon of distribution of controlled substance. I went to prison, did 2 years in state prison. So I've been out now right at about 25 years. But when I got out of prison, no one never told me that I still had a right to vote. So for 20 years, I went without voting. When I had the opportunity to vote, I didn't vote. And then when my voting rights got took away, I couldn't vote. Well, as I thought I could anyway. And there are other people who are just like myself who don't understand that there are certain crimes that you can commit and get a felon, but you still have the right to vote.
Right.
But we don't have platforms like this to tell people that all you got to do with some of the crimes that you have committed, and we're going to talk about some of the ones that really you have to go and get your rights restored. But there are some crimes that felons that you got that you still have your voting. And that took one guy that came to me, and we was talking about voting, and he asked me why I didn't vote. And I told him, I said, well, sir, I'm a convicted felon. I can't vote. He said, well, that's not necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
He said, here's the reason why voting is important. When you don't have the right to vote, you are now considered not to even be a citizen.
Wow.
Let me let that sink in. He said, you are not even considered a citizen when you don't have the right to vote. And what I didn't know, Bishop, was all I had to do is to go get registered to vote.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody told me that.
Wow.
But in my mind, I'm thinking because I got a felon, I couldn't vote. And didn't realize all I had to do is go get registered to vote.
Wow.
And so, and I'm sharing this because there are some people who are listening to this. There are some people who are on here who feel the same way. They're thinking because I got this on my background, I got a felon, I can't vote. That is not true. There are 47 felons that you can have that says that you cannot vote. 47. And I don't have time to go through all of them, but you do your research on 47. Most of them are pertaining to dealing with children, rape, murder, things of that nature. Things of that nature. But more crime, but blue collar crime, in which most of us deal with, is the blue collar crime. Those crimes still give you the right to be able to vote. Wow. All we have to do is find out where our voting poll is and go get registered to vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, Bishop, when I look at it now, and heard you made mention of we're at a very pivotal moment in our life now, especially coming up on November the 3rd. But we don't understand, and because we don't do our research here, and I don't want to get all get all spiritual with this, but the Bible still is true in what it said. Our people are perishing for lack of knowledge. And it's not that the knowledge is not available, it's just that we're rejecting it.
Wow.
And so that's why this platform is very important. That's why this platform and what you're doing, sir, is very, very important. And so I want to drive this home. When we look at the election in 2016 and we look at the numbers, we need to go back and look at the numbers. Donald J. Trump got into office, and I'm just going to use a few of them. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can look it up. It's on the you can find the number. But just a few states. Case in point, he won Georgia. He won Georgia by 11,000 votes. But that was 530,000 people that did not vote.
My God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so here's where we are, Bishop. Here's where we are. There's a lot of people out there who think that their vote do not count. Because I had the same mindset. It said, well, it don't matter no way. If I vote or not, they're going to put whoever they want to put into office.
Okay.
That was my mindset. Well, what I did is, yes, the voting as you become the president, it has to be done by electoral votes. Well, the electoral votes are based on the number of voters that got out and voted. And they got what they call all will stay. Meaning that if I get the popular vote, then I automatically get the electoral votes.
Wow.
That's what a lot of people don't know.
Okay. Wow. That's good information, Pastor. That's good information right there. And that's why we wanted to do this, because people need to have all the information. And so many times we don't have all the information. And I think the worst part of that is too many times people operate off hearsay rather than finding out for themselves. Because now here's and I know you did the same thing. And because I have encountered, me and my wife both have encountered so many people who have come through the Lovelady Center where we work. And many people, of course, the Lovelady Center was designed initially as a place for women coming out of prison to get their lives back in order, to become productive members of society. And many of them, because they had been to prison, were under the impression, well, I've lost my right to vote. But just like you said, some of them began to find out later that, you know what, I still have a right to vote because the crime that I had did not disqualify me. But how many people that are out there don't realize that they have not been disqualified? And when I heard your story and I heard your testimony, then I certainly wanted you to be on this platform to kind of share with people, because I believe you've been voting now, what, about 3 years?
I've been voting now 3 years. Yes.
Yeah. So
3 years. After committing the crime 20 years ago.
Wow. So, and if the knowledge is not there, so basically, realistically, that was 17 years that you lost, where you really could have been voting. Yeah. You know,
that's absolutely right.
Yeah. So, you know, and I kind of did a test run today myself, because people need to find out. I want our audience tonight, you who are listening, and if you have questions, go ahead and post your questions on the screen, and we will deal with your question. But I just kind of did a test run this evening for myself before we go on the show. You know, you can find out whether you are a registered voter or not. You know, hey, Google it. Go out to Google one of the sites. There are several sites that you can go on to and key in your information, and it will let you know whether you are a registered voter or not. And here's what I found out that was key. Here's what I found out was key was this. I found out that you can, if you, and of course, absentee ballots are being encouraged this season because of COVID-19. So absentee ballots are being encouraged, but they're also, but we also encourage people to do them early. You can get them in early. You know, go ahead and get them in and get them in the mail. Right. But I found out that on some of these sites, you can actually have the absentee ballots emailed to you, and all you got to do is print it out, fill it out, and mail it back in. So I found that out today. That's right. You know, so I want the audience to be able to know that. Now, here's the question. The question is this particularly true for all states, or is that just true for the state of Alabama?
What do you mean, Bishop? As far as
As,
is
as
what
far
true?
as far as being a felon or committing a crime, whatever, going to prison, is that true for all states that you still can exercise that right to vote? Because I heard you say there were different crimes that you commit that disqualify you. So is that across the board for all states or just for some states?
No, that's all state. And here's the thing, Bishop. Here's the things that's incredible. The state of Alabama is the only state that does not do expunge. You can commit the same crime in California that you commit in Alabama, and you can have the crime expunged in California, but you cannot in the state of Alabama. Alabama is the only state that does not do expunge.
Wow. Oh, now that's deep. That's deep right there. That's deep right there. Oh, wow. Okay. Now,
yes.
Now watch this. Now this I'm gonna deal with this right here because I got one guest says I'm registered, but I never vote. Now, the key is if you don't vote after 3 years, you are automatically deleted from the list of being a registered voter. Is that true?
That's true.
Yeah. So if you registered and you never voted, then you are no longer after 3 years, you are no longer a registered voter unless you re-register again. So and I think that's important. You got to re-register. That's one of the reasons I threw that out because I want people to understand just because you register one time, if you never vote, then you are no longer a registered voter. I remember when I was young and I registered to vote in Galion, Alabama, where I grew up, and when I moved to Birmingham, I think I probably went a few years without voting, but then I wanted to transfer my voter registration from Hale County to Jefferson County. But when I went to do that, I found out I was no longer a registered voter. So I had to re-register again. Wow. And I really want to encourage this to our younger generation because sometimes we sometimes don't see the importance of what's really going on. And I think many times is a lot of times the younger generation who feel like that, hey, my vote don't count anyway. I think you said it earlier. You said it very plain that the vote does count. And so we got to be aware of that. You think about the fact if a person can win by 33,000 votes and you got 500,000 people that did not vote, then you have no idea which way that election would have gone if everybody had gotten to the poll to vote. Now, and I want to kind of highlight what you said there because you said it was, I think, 500,000 people in Georgia that didn't vote. Now, understand this: that was 500,000 registered voters that didn't vote, not just people, but that was people who were registered to vote but did not vote. Wow,
that did not vote. That's right. That's right. When we look at the numbers, Bishop, here again, and Florida, let's take Florida for example. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump won Florida by 113,000 votes, but that was 379,000 registered voters that did not vote.
Okay. Wow.
And so what we have to understand here is that when you understand the electoral votes, it is also calculated by the popular vote. And so when you get the popular vote, then you automatically get the electoral votes.
Right.
And
right.
So, and just doing the math on it, it's 530 electoral. President have to have at least 270 electoral vote to become the president.
Okay.
So what happened in 2016, had everybody went out and registered to vote, then the outcome of that election probably could have went differently. I don't know if it would have, but I believe that it would have went differently.
But that's a great possibility that it would have. Look, I got our good friend Bishop Roland Evans chiming in as well as one of our guests, and he was helping answer one of these questions for us as well. And Bishop, we appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that. But he says each state is different. To check with that state the state secretary of state office. So yeah, so that's good information as well. So if you want to know how it actually works, then check whatever state you're in. Check with the secretary of state office in that particular state, and they can give you all the details of how that flows. Now, there's another question that says, is there a process to go through if you're a drug felon before registering to vote, or can you just register?
No, it depends. Okay, Bishop, good question. It depends on what the drug charge was. My drug charge was distribution. Now, if it's trafficking, if you got charged with trafficking cocaine, heroin, or whatever it was, then that's what they call moral turpitude. That act was passed in 1976. That's a law, and that's what Bishop was chiming in on. But that's a law. Moral turpitude Act was passed in 1976. Now, if you got a distribution charge, here's what I didn't know. Because I had a distribution charge, that crime or that charge did not disqualify me as a registered voter.
Okay. Wow. Okay, man, that's good. So again, we're open for questions. Thank you, Bishop Roland Evans, man. We're so glad you tuned in this evening as well, and I appreciate you. I wanted to make sure I tagged Bishop Evans in this event tonight so that he could come in and chime in on some of this stuff as well. And I appreciate all that he's doing because we got a lot going on, and there's a lot at stake. You know, when it comes to voting, and I think many times people don't realize what's really at stake, so we choose to just stay home. You know, oh well, my vote is not going to count anyway. But you know, if 1 out of every 10 people do that, that means 10 out of 100 did not vote. You know, and that's mean 100 out of 1,000 did not vote, and on and on. So after you finish doing the math, you come to find out there's a whole lot of people that were that registered to vote but did not vote, and these things are definitely important. You know, you know, many times people like to play on emotion, you know, about voting and talk about the fact of how many people gave their lives and whatnot so that we can have the right to vote. But you know, we're not here tonight to play on anybody's emotions, but we do want to stress the fact of how important it is, how important voting is. You know, so we don't want you doing it out of emotion. We want you doing it because it's the right thing to do. You know, and it's necessary. You know, because I am one of those people who say, if you don't vote, don't complain. You know, because I found out a lot of people do never vote, but always complain about the system. Well, guess what? If you're not a part of the solution, then you're part of the problem.
Amen. And here's the thing too, Bishop. You know, just as we putting this much emphasis on this president's race, we need to look at the local level as well, and we need to turn up and turn out just like we're doing now on our local level, because it starts at the local level first. And so we need to have that same energy when it comes time to vote for city councilman, mayor, and school boards, all of that. We need to have that exact same energy.
Yes, absolutely right. Because what happens with that, and I think what many don't know, if we have that same energy on the local level, it gives us that much more enthusiasm when it comes to a state level or when it comes to a national level. It gives us that much more momentum and that much more enthusiasm to do that. You know, I believe that every registered voter ought to be trying to encourage somebody else to register to vote. You know, and especially shedding light. You know, what we're trying to do tonight. Shedding light to people who really think that they don't have the right to vote anymore, you know, and even to the people who think they have the right, who have not voted in 3 years. You have given up that right because you have not voted. So that's why we asked the question tonight: do I still have the right to vote? You know, if anybody, if you know anybody, and I'm talking to our audience tonight, if you know anybody who think that they do not have the right to vote, we have so many facilities in the city of Birmingham that cater to people who have come out of incarceration. And I believe that all of these facilities need to be teaching this. All of these facilities need to be sharing this. Now, I remember a few years ago at the Lovedater Center when this information was disseminated to the women there, and we were able to take women to the poll ban who thought they didn't have the right to vote anymore. And I believe that every facility that stands on the ground of saying we're trying to get people to be back productive citizens in society need to be pushing that.
That's right, Bishop. I wasn't around at this time, but I remember my father telling me that there used to be a time where they voted on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
He was able to vote on a Sunday.
Wow.
And the reason why they stopped Sunday voting because they was trying to stop the African American church from talking about voting on Sundays.
Wow.
And that's something that we need to do because God has given us a platform, and we need to use that platform now, even across the pulpit, talking about how important it is to get registered to vote, how important it is to be counted, to have your vote counted, how important that is. And we need to echo that from our platform, even in our church. Absolutely.
I totally agree. We need to echo that everywhere, man, right now. And I say right now, but we need to echo it. We need to echo that all the time, always. This is something that we always need to do to let people know that this is an important matter in your life. 18-year-old males normally have to register, for what you call this, for the draft or whatever the case is. So in case they're going to be drafted, the United States Army start drafting, so we have to be registered. So I think we need to take that same initiative to when we're registering for the draft to be able to register to vote as well. Why not do them simultaneously? Why not do them both at the same time? But it's so convenient now, Pastor, that we can actually do this online. You can sit at your computer, your cell phone is nothing more than a computer itself, and you can actually register to vote from your phone. Whatever the case is, so it's so easy now. Back when we registered, I'll put it there. When I registered, I had to go down to the courthouse or go to the post office or whatever to register. But now, we don't have to do that. We can do it. Everything is at our fingertips, man. And so I believe that, as you stated, we need to push this. We need to allow people to understand that they have not. Yeah, thank you. See, I told you, Bishop Evans is the man tonight. That's selective service. He know what I was trying to say. Selective service. But we need to certainly, definitely, push this across the board to people who think that they have lost the right to vote. To let them know, hey, don't just go on hearsay. In the United States of America, if we go to court, we cannot go to court on hearsay. We need real evidence. Amen. And so for any person who think or feel like that they have lost their right to vote, then you need to be getting the real evidence to find out, is what you've been told, is it true? Or is it just something that someone said to you that got you off track? But I found out one of the three, and I'm glad that Bishop Evans said that as well, that to check with the state Secretary of State, because in other words, he was saying, get your information from the right source. And too many times we get our information from the wrong source. Amen. That's accurate, Bishop. That's accurate. It's amazing, Bishop, that here again, I went for 20, right at 20 years. After I had committed the crime, had been out for 20 years. I went down to get my voting rights restored. Didn't realize all I had to do is just re-register. But I went through all of that. I went and got, they sent it to Montgomery. They sent me the letter back and told me they just restored my voting rights. So I got registered to vote. I went back. I didn't stop there.
went back then. I said, well, if I can get my voting rights back, then I ought to be able to get a full pardon from the state of Alabama. So I applied for a full pardon from the state of Alabama. I had to go to Montgomery, stand before the parole board. They went through my record. And here's what the guy told me while I was standing there. He said, sir, you have done well. He said, we have went through your record and have not found anything. So today we are giving you a full pardon of this from the state of Alabama. And he asked me then, he said, sir, do you know what that means? At that moment, Bishop, I really didn't know what it means. I knew that I knew that I wanted to apply, but I didn't know what I was applying for. He said, what that means is now is that you become just like us as though you never committed the crime.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. Wow. So I have a full pardon from the state of Alabama. And my mission here now is to take people from every walks of life, every race, every color, and not only tell them how to do it, but walk them through it to show them that it can be done.
Wow. So let me ask this question, and I'm listening to you about getting the full pardon, and I was going to go there because I remember you had said that before, but I wanted to go there about asking about the full pardon. Let's say, for instance, that person has that charge, or they have that felony that takes away their right to vote, and so if that person goes to apply for a pardon, and the thing is that they go through their record and they see nothing else that would deter them from giving that full pardon. If they get that full pardon, are you saying to us that they would then can have their voting right restored as well?
Yeah, well, the first step to getting the full pardon is to getting your voting rights restored first.
Okay.
That's the first step.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first step there. Once you do that, then you apply.
Okay. Okay. And that's
Yeah.
what I
And
want
so now if you right. And if you research it, Bishop, in the state of Alabama, only 1/3 of people who apply for a pardon gets it. Only
Wow.
1/3.
Only 1/3.
Yeah. Very low number.
Yeah, that's low. That's low. That's real low. You know, yeah, and that's probably because one of the reasons the state of Alabama has a tough parole board. You know, and I've actually stood before the state of Alabama parole board with someone else before, and you know, I wasn't there for myself, and I hadn't committed a crime, and they had me scared. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And see, that's one of my mission. That's one of my assignments, Bishop, is that, you know, people that have to go up for parole, I try to make it my mission that if I know them and I know they're going up for parole, I try to make it my mission to go to their parole hearing. Because I think I understand language. I've been where they're being, and me being an example, standing before the parole board, sometimes have weigh in on their decision whether that person is going to get out or not.
Okay. So let me ask this question then, and I know I see your mission. I know your mission. I see what you're doing. Let's say if there was somebody in our on our audience tonight watching, and they say, "Well, you know what? I want to help do that." How can they help you, or how can they be an assistance in helping spread this word to people to help them restore their voting rights, or understand that they still find out rather that they do still have the right to vote? How can they be an assistance to you?
Well, Bishop, I mean, I'm not hard to find. I'm all over Facebook. I mean, pretty much everybody know me. Just link up with me, and we can make this thing happen. It's just that simple.
Okay, because I asked that question because sometimes a lot of us, you know, want to do stuff and just don't know what to do or how to get it done. So that's why I asked that question. So if people want to link up with you and say, "Hey, let's do this. I want to help see this happen," and maybe they got some relatives or whatever who who are in this situation, but they don't know how to help them. So they could bring them to you and get the help.
Yes, sir. By all means. And again, I'm not the one to just tell them, hey, go do X, Y, Z. No, I'm going to walk them through the first step all the way to the end of it until we see this thing through. Even if you don't get a full pardon, you'll get what they call a partial pardon from the state of Alabama, meaning that you get your voting rights restored. You may not get your gun rights restored. That's one of the hardest ones to get back after you have lost your rights, is getting your gun rights back. But you'll get all your other rights back.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, you know, and I really personally appreciate the fact of what you said, that I don't just tell them, but I will walk them all the way through it. I personally appreciate that, because in my lifetime, I have experienced so many people will tell me, you need to do this, that, and the other, as you stated, A, B, and C, or X, Y, and Z, but never will walk you through the process of getting it done. You know, and I don't know, you know, so I definitely appreciate you for that. So,
amen.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's just my mission, Bishop, because here again, I've been with you where you are. You know, people tell me, hey, all you got to do is go down on 2nd Avenue, tell them you want to apply for your voting right, and you leave them right there. Okay, I go down on 2nd Avenue, go in the parole office, and now I don't know what to do. All right, they give me a form to fill out. I don't know what to put on that form. And now I'm frustrated. And because I'm frustrated, I walk out and just say, you know what? It's not even worth it.
Absolutely. So that's the difference of, you know, lip service and full service. You know,
I like that.
yeah. Hey, that one just came up, man. I never used that one before, but
I like that one.
It's practical, portable, and repreachable. But yeah, but that's. But
as long as you don't have a patent on it, I'm gonna steal that
one. No, you ain't got to steal it, bro. I'll give it to you. But again, you know, if anybody else got any question, we're gonna give you a minute to go ahead and type your question on the screen. If not, we're gonna head toward the closing. You know, you got two preachers on the line, and you know, but we do know how to close. But if anyone else have any questions, I mean, I don't know, maybe somebody is watching on somebody's watch party and have a question or whatever. I'll ask that person to type it on the screen. If you see anybody with a question, go ahead and share that question for them. Maybe they're on somebody's watch party that we can't see. But anyway, but I definitely appreciate you coming on tonight, Pastor, and sharing this information, because it is vital for our nation. It is vital for people in general, because there's so many people who feel like that they have lost it all. Yeah, they have lost it all. Okay. I got another question. Say, I need to register to vote. What do I do? You know, I'll let you answer that, Pastor.
Well, we got Bishop Roland Evans on here for that one. He can answer that better than I can when it comes to registering to vote and where to go to register to vote. Sound like they don't have any issue. All they need to know is, where do I go to get registered?
Right.
I would ask Bishop Evans to chime in on that one.
Because he's still out there. He's still chiming in, I guarantee you. Now, until I see his answer pop up, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. But I personally, I think you can go online to register. I don't know, is it the probate office or whatever the case may be, but you really can go to Google probably and ask that same question: where do I register to vote, or how do I register to vote? Okay, Bishop Evans says to their county registrar's office, and that's, of course, if you're in Jefferson County, then that'll be Jefferson County registrar office. If you're in Shelby County, whatever county that you're in, to go to the registrar's office and fill out the form that they have for you to register to vote. But also, I believe you should be able to do that online as well. You know, you should be able to do. If I recall correctly, you should. I think I saw a link. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Bishop Evans. He said online at the Secretary of State. Go to the Secretary of State office online, and you can register to vote there. Yeah, yeah.
And then one of the things, Bishop, is that we have to really look into now, even after we registered to vote, find out where we were at, our polling state. Because I can remember when my first time voting, very first time, I mean, I'm already nervous because I've never voted before in my life. And they sent me to 3 places. They sent me to 3 different places to vote. I was supposed to go to the church. I got to the church. They said, nope, you go to the Hoover Met. I got to the Hoover Met. They said, nope, go to the Finley Center. And if you're not careful, that type of stuff will frustrate people and make them go back home and not vote.
True. So true. Now, normally in my area, normally we get a card in the mail from the registrar's office or whatever, and it would have our polling place where we supposed to vote listed on that card. And when you go there, you take your driver license. Make sure you take your state ID with you when you go there. But normally you take that with you, and they will have your name already on the list. So all you do is check in, and normally they have it set up in alphabetical order. So you go to whatever line to your polling place. Victor Evans said the polling place is also online at the Secretary of State office. So all that information will be found at the Secretary of State office as well. It'll tell you where your polling place is. That's good. That's good. That's good. Question says, if you move from one county to another, do you need to go to the registrar as well? That from my and you can chime in on that too, but from my experience, that's what I had to do when I moved to Jefferson County.
That's true. That's true, because I moved from Shelby County to Jefferson, and we had to change it. Yeah.
So you have to check. You can't. You have to. I think the reason for that is if I live in Jefferson County and I formerly lived in Shelby County, I cannot be voting in Shelby County when I don't live there for people that's running for office there. So I got to be a registered voter in the county that I'm in. Hey, well, I got some brownie points. Bishop Roland Evans, I was correct on that. But you cannot be voting. You cannot be voting for people in a county that you don't live in.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, you definitely have to do that. Okay. Great. Well, Pastor, I appreciate you so much joining us this evening. Definitely appreciate Bishop Roland Evans out there chiming in and helping us out as well. We're going to have to get Bishop Evans on this show as well sometime in the very near future as it get closer to the voting process. Amen. Definitely, we want to get Bishop Roland Evans on this show as well because I know there's so much in him that need to be given out to the people as well. Okay, another question came in real quick. Said, if your name is misspelled on your registration card, would that cause a problem with you voting? Wow, that's a good question. If your name is misspelled on your voter registration card, will that cause a problem with you voting? Now
that's a good one, Bishop. I never heard that one.
Now, neither have I, but I do have a suggestion. My suggestion is when I get that voter registration card, immediately contact the registrar's office and say, hey, my name is misspelled, and get that corrected so that you don't run into a problem at the poll, because you can run into any kind of technicality that will cause you not to be able to vote. So that's possibly would be one of those technicalities. So definitely get that checked out. That would be my suggestion. If his name is misspelled, go ahead and get it taken care of immediately. Go ahead and contact them as soon as you find it out.
Well, Bishop, let me ask you this. Is it necessary to have the voter registration card with you when you go vote, or do you just need your ID?
You don't have to have the voter registration card, but you need to have the ID. But normally, if your name is misspelled on the voter registration card, it's going to be misspelled at the poll. So when you go there with your ID, it won't match up with the name that they have won't match up with your ID because it's going to be the same as it is on the voter registration card. So and Bishop Evans said I was right again. So yeah, definitely
Right.
you want to get that corrected before you get there, because so that you don't. What you want to do is anything that looks like it's going to hinder you or stop you from voting on voting day. Do everything that you can to get those things taken care of ahead of time.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, Pastor, thank you so much. I'm gonna get out of here this time. I'm gonna get out of here this time. We're gonna get out of here, and thank you so much to our audience for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. And we ask you again to make sure you do a watch party with this video. Share the video. Let everybody know that. Again, there's so many people who think they don't have the right to vote. Go ahead and let them know that's a possibility. You have not lost that right, but you need to find out. You need to find out and let them know that they can find out by going to the registrar's office, or they can do like I did, just go online and ask the question, do I still have the right to vote? And you can key that information in, and it will immediately come right back to you in 30 seconds to let you know whether you are a registered voter or not. If you're not, if you're not a registered voter, then you can see about getting registered to vote. So, hey, let's get it done, people of God. Let's get it done. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Greg Talks. Pastor, we thank you so much. And peace out. And I'll be talking to you real soon, brother.
Bless you, Bishop.
All right. Well, God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you so much again. This has been another edition of Greg Talks, and I pray that we have disseminated some information to you tonight that's going to be very, 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 very helpful to you. God bless you, and may God keep you is our prayer.